What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk Live Show. First and foremost, gotta take a step back and say, really do appreciate y'all's patience. So sorry about the delays. It has been a Monday, y'all. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, long day, a lot of technical difficulties that we are working through, and what a nightmare. But again, we are finally here. We said no matter what, we are not quitting. We are not never give up. We're going to make this show happen one way or another. And here we are. Got Greg Legg and myself here, Lane Smith here. So excited to get rolling. Greg, you ready to rock and roll, man?
I mean, better late than never, but we're not entering the transfer portal, so let's go.
Oh, I love that. Yes, my man. So if you've been with us for, you know the drill. But if you haven't been with us for, do us a big favor. Send us a comment in the chat. Let us know who's here. And actually, since Greg is actually hosting us here today, he will be the man in charge of keeping an eye on our comments for us. So again, if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, whatever you got, send it to us here in the chats, and we have a ton to get here to today. And in fact, so much here to get to today. We're going to go ahead and jump right on over to our Tuffy's tweets of the week, because we have a ton of them. We are ready to get rock and rolling. But again, send us comments, questions as we go here, y'all. Let's go and get into it.
Let's do it.
Woo! All right. So we're riding high right here, Gregster. I know you were there for all three games this weekend, all three wins against FSU, which is actually the first time, and again, this is the Pac-9 history, the first time NC State has ever swept Florida State in baseball, which is, I mean, I think, it says something. I don't think it says necessarily a ton, just because of the fact that obviously you lost Mike Martin. That FSU is a very, very young team. I think like 14 freshmen on roster. So, I mean, it's kind of like, you're beating a guy while he's down a little bit. But I mean, oh well, hey, we'll take it. We're not going to complain about it, So and again, Link Jarrett will have these boys right by next season. So I mean, don't feel too sorry for them. They're going to be doing just fine next season. So, but again, huge again for us to, I think, get this positive momentum going 4-0 on the week. And a lot of positives. And the biggest positive you got to talk about, the starting pitching has been absolutely phenomenal between Logan Whitaker, Matt Willison, Dominic Fritton. Greg, give it to us, man. I mean, I think you can't talk about state baseball for more than 2 seconds without talking about the starting pitching.
Right. Look, did we just start a new thing last Friday with Fritton Fridays? I think I
like it.
We got a little out of a rotation there. Normally, Willinson is our Friday night guy, but Fritton bounced from Sunday to Friday and didn't miss a beat. He went out and did his thing. You just mentioned the starting pitching, and it's been amazing. Willinson pitched yesterday. His ERA is 1.89, and Fritton is 2.08. Those are your first two guys, and then you got Logan Whitaker in there. He's usually your Saturday guy, and he's 383. One thing I will talk about the pitching real quick is I was looking at all the stats because they just dropped the new ones from the weekend this morning. Looking at all of our pitchers, some ERAs are a little out of kilter. The average against them though is not very good. So that just tells you that the two things that are hurting us is our bases on balls and our defense. And that's just something we can get fixed. But starting pitching has been off the charts good.
Yeah, 100%. And definitely, Michelle, again, was awesome to see us get that sweep. And the biggest thing, too, first of all, let's go ahead and also talk about the elephant in the room, which is definitely the home run by Peyton Green that got called foul. And basically, from what we've been hearing, supposedly the umpire almost admitted to some of the players and staff from NC State that it probably was fair, but that basically the view that they had on that, and again, we all saw it. I know, Greg, you were there in person, but for those who are watching, there just wasn't anything conclusive from any angle that could, conclusively say that whether it was fair or foul. But I think we were kind of talking about it on the Discord, which, by the way, too, make sure if you haven't already joined us for free on our private Discord, Talking State Athletics, make sure to do that, as that tweet is pinned on our Twitter profile. But one of the things we were saying is that, Chris Hart, unfortunately for the umpires staff, had the perfect view of it, and he was right down third baseline. So the only person who had a little bit of a better view than him was the third base guy. But I mean, you can't argue otherwise. Besides the fact that maybe he's biased, but I mean,
No.
he's looking right at the daggone foul pole, and he was pissed to say the least when they called that thing foul. Pissed off.
That thing got out in a hurry. I mean, he launched it. Honestly, I can't remember the last time I saw a ball hit right down the line that was, I mean, so hard.
Crushed.
And like it reminded me of my golf game. That thing sliced at the end. And unless you have a 40-foot foul pole, you're not gonna be able to tell much. And I watched the replays last night when I got home. Well, actually this morning we got home at midnight last night from Raleigh. So we definitely put in our work. But yeah, it was tough, but if you get that grand slam, you don't go to extras. And we talked in the Discord too that we had 14 men left on base, and Michael Tracy, who's not with us tonight, says, if you hit that grand slam, you only did with 9 left on base. So that definitely changes some stats. And
just to clarify to those who are wondering, like, how do you go from 14 left on base to 9 left on base from a grand slam? So it's basically that we left the 3 on base, and then we also, if we would have gotten that grand slam, more than likely we wouldn't have had to gone to the bottom in the 9th inning in order to win the game either. So that's 2 more right there. So you go from 14 to 9. If you get that grand slam, but to me, it's like it definitely wasn't our prettiest win for sure. Definitely a lot of opportunities left on the table here. But the biggest thing, which I'll go ahead and just remind all State fans, is that, believe it or not, even though batting wise with the runners in scoring position was very frustrating this weekend, we still have 6 players that are hitting 300 batting average or better. Highlighted by Eli Serrano, who, man, that kid is a freshman.
All I do is hit.
Yeah, no kidding, dude. Like, this dude's hitting 343 right now.
Big home run yesterday in the 8th.
Huge home run in the 8th yesterday. Huge home run. And I don't know if it's next, Greg, or coming up, but obviously got to give a shout out to Gino Groover, man, for being the player of the week nationally, man, or in the ACC. Yeah, dude, that dude deserved every bit of praise and then some. 2 home runs on Saturday, a home run yesterday. I mean, this dude has been absolutely dominant. And so, first of all, hats off to Coach Hart and Coach Avon for getting this guy from Charlotte, man, because he's been awesome for us over the last two seasons.
Yeah, yesterday was his birthday, so he got a little nice late birthday gift yesterday. But yeah, he batted 600. Yeah. 600.
That's pretty good.
15. Yeah. 9 for 15, 714 base on base percentage, 1.267 slugging. That is absurd. Yeah. But yeah, you mentioned the home runs. He had 3 for the week, 6 walks, 8 runs scored, 3 RBIs. And oh, by the way, we did go 4-0 last week.
Just saying. Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Wilmington in the midweek. What was that? 14-3, 13-2, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah. Which by the way, too, y'all, like, and it might be crazy to think too, but like, look at it. I mean, so I think it's Coastal Carolina right now is ranked number 10 in the country. UNCW just pulled off a series win over TCU, and we went 3-0 against those 2 teams. We beat Coastal at Coastal, and we beat UNCW twice, once at home, once away. And so, like, as frustrating as the ACC has been so far in terms of the ACC schedule, again, we're 6-9. Like, there's if you kind of take a step back and look at everything that's been accomplished so far, it's been a solid start. I wouldn't say a great start, obviously, but I would say a solid start for sure. I think that we're put in a great situation right now to make a deep run here in the second half of the schedule. And I was pulling that up right here even too. And so you got Davison coming up tomorrow in
downtown Charlotte. Yep.
Downtown Charlotte, which I know Parker Nolan's going to be super excited for that one, facing his old team. And then you have
Trevor came from there too, didn't he?
That's right, Trevor Candelaria, who's also been another great guy for us too. So loving that.
That yesterday, in the 10th. So
and then you got Clemson series this weekend, which, I mean, Clemson has not been its normal self this season. So,
but they have the last 2 series, albeit against FSU, who we just beat, and Notre Dame, which is another kind of bottom dweller. So they have been playing better baseball. So we, at least got to give them that.
Yeah. And Rusty, so to kind of talk about your question here. So in terms of us hosting a regional, I mean, again, it just goes down to that the teams that we have lost to, specifically in the ACC, are ranked in the top 10 RPI and nationally right now, between Boston College, Virginia, and who was the other one that we lost to series wise?
Oh, you said, sorry, I was checking the chat. It's been
Your
Virginia, Wake, Boston College,
and Wake,
and Miami.
And Miami. That's right. Yeah. So again, it's just that's the biggest thing. And also too, because we got Clemson left in the series, you got Citadel, you got at Notre Dame, you got at UNC, and then Pittsburgh at home. So there's no series there that I'm necessarily circling us like we're probably not going to win that series. I think you could easily make a case for winning every series from here on out.
Sure.
So, and I think you need to, and I think we need to for sure. What up, Kens? Got Ken's back on the live stream, y'all. What up, Ken? Not much.
Y'all.
I know. Glad to have you back for sure. Oh, so but anyway, though, so finishing up baseball. So got Rusty. How about Dom stepping up after a tough year? I mean, Greg, I've talked a ton so far. Give us your thoughts there in person and watching Dominic Pololi just crush one when his number got called, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to watch that one in person. We had to get on the road after the 9th, but we definitely had it on with Tony Haynes in the radio, and we're driving. We just got I think we just hit Nightingale when we got the walk off, and my son's going crazy, and we're high fiving driving down.
Yes,
we're doing 70 and high five, and I don't recommend it, but we definitely did it. So. But it was great. It was great seeing Dom. In all seriousness, that's a deep outfield. We added Parker, like you mentioned just a few minutes ago. We added Carter Trice. We added. Chase Nixon has been playing well out there.
Yeah,
Trevor out there and right. And here's a couple things. Noah Souls, who was going to be a breakout player this year, has just been injured. So we still have him coming back probably in another week or two. Don't know where he's at in that, but I know he was getting close.
Yep.
And then you have a great, freshman, Michael Gumpton, who can't even get on the field either. So that is probably our deepest position in the outfield. And those are some great hitters just doing their thing. So, yeah, I'm just happy that Dom was able to go out there and contribute. I'm sure he would say the same thing. And, I think these guys, even though if they're not in the starting lineup, they're still grinding, trying to get better and, just be ready, like you said, when their number's called.
Yep. And the last thing which I'll say, and Ken's, I want to hand over to you to give us your thoughts about baseball as well, is just to kind of push on the point there that Rusty was asking of, why do they have us projected as hosting a regional? It really does come down to, again, just kind of going over the schedule again. So you got a midweek game against Davidson, Clemson series, midweek game against DCU, Citadel series, midweek game against North Carolina A&T, at Notre Dame, midweek against Richmond, at UNC, and then a series against Pittsburgh. So really the only game which I'm saying that I think that we would not be the favorite to win would obviously be ECU. But even that game, we're playing at home.
Yeah, we should have beat them too.
So, I'm sitting here going, like, if we can win, again, I'm not saying we're going to win every series, but I'm saying that right now where I'm sitting, we should win every series from here on out, in my opinion. Besides maybe UNC's definitely, played well again. They're in the top 25. But
I did have a nice weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from Virginia last weekend. So
that's true. So okay. So maybe, so UNC,
but no, they're not a good team.
Favorite, but I would say we have a good, I would say, hey, that's 3 weeks from now, especially if we can get like a guy like Carter Trice even going, like, dude, I'm waiting for that guy to freaking.
He had a nice hit yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He was only at bat.
He did for sure. But again, it just goes back to that. If things go smoothly for the rest of the season, we don't have really any bad hiccups, then you're looking back at the season and you're looking at pretty much every single loss. And you're not really necessarily hanging your head on really any loss. Elon, that we were like, oh my God, how did you lose to Elon?
They're not bad though.
Dude, they're pretty good. I would feel really bad for whoever is there, whatever regional they're going to be in as a 2 or 3 site or 2 or 3 seed. Dude, I feel bad for them. Yeah. So Kens, go ahead. I'm here, ready to hear your thoughts.
I think the whole series as a whole was crazy this weekend. Was finally able to watch every game because ACC Network and then the ACC Network Extra. I haven't been able to watch some because DirecTV sucks. But the games that I have watched, I have seen a lot of improvement. There aren't as many errors as there have been. I do think that we can host a regional, and I think that. I just think that would be icing on top of the cake if we host a regional in the new and improved Oak. And I'm looking forward to it. But this weekend was crazy.
Yep.
Gino Groover is clutch.
For sure. No,
Hey,
he's been the man.
Ken's just mentioned about the defense, and one thing that happened last week that we really didn't talk about was the swap with Green and Harrison from short and second, and I think that's a nice move there. That might go kind of underappreciated and under the radar for some of the casual fans out there. Peyton Green has all the tools to be a great shortstop, and just for whatever reason, just kind of been a little bit on the struggle bus there, but. He's still hitting pretty good. Now he's down about 15 points over the last week, but if he hits that grand slam yesterday, things change, and he had a great
hit that grand slam yesterday.
right. And then he did have a clutch hit going on Friday night to get the hit parade really going. By the way, we didn't really talk about. We did kind of mention it, but 26 runs in 2 games. That's pretty awesome in back-to-back games. But
100%.
We did have a comment here about what about Gino for National Player of the Week? Well, we got you covered. Let's do it. So,
So per Perfect Game USA, Gino Groover was named player of the week honors nationally for Perfect Game USA, and rightfully so. Again, just goes back to let's keep this thing going. Just take care of business. Don't do anything crazy. Just starting pitching, keep rolling. I need to ask a little bit more from Baker Nelson, just a little bit. Just give me a little bit more, brother. Again, hey, listen, I'm not going to hold it too much against you. I know that, it happens from time to time. It's baseball. Sometimes things don't go your way, unfortunately. But just,
Hey, he got the win. Give him a break. He got the win.
No, I know, but just again,
they're only batting 238 against him. Like I said earlier, like some of these ERAs are a little high. But his ERA. He's got one of the higher A's. Let's be real, 5.17. But he's got a 5-2 record. I'm just thinking of a couple. I have high expectations for such senior pitchers, especially as talented pitchers as Baker Nelson. So, but again, hey, listen. It's baseball, even the best pitchers have off days. It's going to happen. And so not a problem whatsoever. Just, again, it was just like, oh my gosh, a freshman, just hit that freaking home run. I was like, Sam was lights out this weekend though. Sam was amazing. And I think we might finally have him back to where we expect him to be. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Go ahead. Yeah, I will be interested to see because he kind of came in that closer role on Saturday night, and he's kind of been flirting there. They had Justin Lawson there earlier, so maybe that's something to keep an eye on if that's going to be something going long term with Lawson being the setup and Sam being the closer. Just something that I noticed over the last couple of games there, but we'll keep an eye on that. Well, especially too because MLB, they basically focus on and either want you to be a starter or be a closer. Typically don't really want relievers. And if you don't believe me, ask Kevin Kopps, who, was undoubtedly the best pitcher in all baseball because he was a reliever. MLB teams were kind of like, well, where do we put you? Do we put you as a starter? Put you as a closer? So, for Sam Highfield, and especially since we don't really have a closer right now, hey, if he's excelling in it, keep it going. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Especially since we have 3 dominant starters right now, and you have options as for relievers. So, for sure. But all right, do we need to jump on over to another sport? We got another sport. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go hoops because there's lots on both sides of the gender spectrum. So let's go. Yes, for sure. Oh man, Jaden Taylor, man, so excited to have this guy, and I'm telling you right now, and I know we're going to talk about our other boy from Arizona State as well, but. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily crazy about our offseason so far for men's basketball, which again, just perfectly clear. That's an understatement. People are, but again, we're still sitting here in mid-April. There's still so many guys we're still talking to, whether it's between MJ Rice from Kansas or Mr. Middlebrook from Clemson. Yep. We have some logs in the fire, so be patient. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here saying, listen, we got 2 guards who are experienced, who are proven at the national level, who are scorers, who play great defense, and also do have size. And I know that was one of the biggest things that we said is that, just as great as Jarkel Joyner was for us last year, I think that having Big T, having Casey, and have Jarkel, who don't offer size, which is no fault of theirs, just is what it is. When you're competing in the ACC and nationally, it makes a difference more on the rebounding side and the defensive side of the ball, for sure. So I think to have some guys that can
help on the defensive side and give you a little bit more size to help with the rebounding, hey, that's just the cherry on top there. So, yeah. Greg, what's your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, bringing him in 13 points a game. I think he had like 4 or 5 rebounds a game. Like you said, he actually scored. He actually had 18 against us last year.
I was going to say it was either 18 or 19.
Yeah. I was just checking. I had my notes here, but yeah, like you said, it's not a quote unquote. I mean, it is. He's coming from a power conference because Butler is the Big East. So, good quality competition there. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
look,
and just kind of
go ahead. I was going to say people need to calm down. Like I get it. People are just so antsy, and we talked about it last week on the live show. I know both of you weren't on there. Is when we mentioned the tweets about how our players came in a little bit later in like the second cycle of the portal.
Yep. Yeah, no, so just to kind of get some stats, so Jaden Taylor, 12.9 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, and 1.3 assists per game. And then DJ Horn, who we're going to be talking about here from Arizona State, also averaged about 12.5 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, and 2.4 assists per game. So, I mean, they're almost carbon copy, really, when you look at the stats. Both can score, both offer great defense, and both have size. So, I love to see that. And combine that with Casey Morsell,
that's it.
Yeah, I think it's a plus of where they're coming from. I mean, like, Burns came from Winthrop, yeah. So now it's like we're having people coming from Butler, Arizona State. Like, it's showing that like we're finally widening, like getting these good quality teams wanting to come to state.
Yep, absolutely.
And of course, DJ's coming home. DJ. I was joking. So are we going DJ squared? Are we going?
Yeah, I've heard that more times.
Yeah. But yeah, Horn's coming home. He did start at, was it Indiana State, Illinois State? One of those states.
It was Illinois.
Illinois State rings a bell.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then Arizona State. And I've seen some comments like, oh, it's his third school. And people need to start just understanding how this thing works now. And I kind of put it out again. I think it was Illinois State. You have a guy that comes out of high school who's probably undervalued. So that's why he ends up in Illinois State, goes and proves it, does his thing there, moves up in competition to Arizona State, where again, he was coached by a current NC State assistant in Joel Justice. Yep. And then he wants to come home for his final year of eligibility. I mean, that makes perfect sense, And
playing the ACC.
And playing the ACC, that's a great call. When people see the 3-school jump, they're like, okay, what kind of problems does this kid have? Like, everybody wants to put the negative spin on these players, and that's just not it with a lot of these people. They just want to go out and get their full fulfillment of their college life.
We were Jarkel's third school and DJ Burns' third school.
Yeah, good call.
So, I mean, I think people just I feel like everybody's just wanting, after the success we had last season, I think they just want it all now for being greedy fans, which I understand completely. I've always been a greedy fan, but I think we're fine. Relax. We're going to be good.
This is a great message here by Logan.
Yeah, Logan here saying, I think if this team can bond like this past year, they can have another really successful season with DJ's leadership, especially. And because the biggest thing, which I love too, is how both DJ Horn and Jaden both have like made statements saying, listen, I'm coming here to win. I'm coming here to do something special in NC State. When you hear most of their interviews, it's not really individual based. I'm trying to improve or I'm trying to do this. It's more of, listen, I'm coming to NC State, for DJ, I'm looking to come home, which is where my heart is. And I'm coming here to win and be a part of something here in NC State. So again, for me, I'm saying to everything in the transfer portal, which I definitely want to talk a little bit about the transfer portal, which we'll probably do. There. Yeah, we'll get there. But it's just like, listen, just trust the process. It takes time. Even Levi Watkins put out a tweet out there, like reminding people, listen, we didn't even get DJ until the end of April last year. We're sitting here,
one of them was May too, I thought.
Was
it Horchik?
Mahorchik. Yeah. No,
yeah,
it was Mahorchik. Yeah. Mahorchik. So it's like, listen, there's hundreds, if not thousands of players in the transfer portal, hundreds, if not thousands. Like, again, we have options, y'all. Take a deep breath. We're good.
We talked about it last week. 20% of all Division I players were in the portal, and that's roughly 1,000 players, like you just mentioned, Leighton. So, just because you don't get your first go around, there's plenty of bridesmaids out there that are looking for a groom. So we'll find you. You know, just put your patient pants on.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, Logan, gotta give a shout out. That's an awesome profile picture, by the way, too, man. That's a sick profile.
Oh, that
picture.
is fire. Yeah.
But
we're gonna break down some of these guys here real quick because there's some good stuff here. I think this is a good one here about DJ Horn. Let me just go ahead and.
So this one's from Cooper Watson saying DJ Horn hit 4 or more threes in a game 8 times last season. So he hit 4 or more 3-pointers during a game 8 different times last season. He's the guy DJ Burns hits with the swing pass out of a double team if teams are dumb enough to help off him. And again, this just goes back to everything that we were saying during the offseason as well, is that I really, really hope and pray that during this offseason, now that we know what we really have in DJ Burns, let's work some plays off of it so that we don't have so much isolation ball with DJ and then guys standing on the outside. Let's get some movement. And now that you got guys who can shoot the three over 35%, so you got multiple of those guys now, then let's just work them in a position so that way if DJ gets double teamed, all DJ has to do is do his fire passing that he's done all last season, get this guy, and then make teams pay for it. You know, because I think that's just that. I don't know if that was really the problem or just like I don't know. You know, we just need to do more of it.
I think now that you know what you have in DJ Burns, you can build around him. And then kind of like you were saying, working the offense through him, and kind of like how the women's basketball, how Coach Moore likes to work inside out. I think maybe you could see something similar with the men's team.
Oh,
and by the way, did we just mention OG DJ?
OG DJ. Yeah. No, love this tweet here. Yeah, basically right after DJ Horn commitment.
I have all of his tweets on.
Hold on. Nicholas, I think this might answer your question. I think this tweet probably answers that. Nothing official, but
I don't know why DJ Burns just doesn't just like, we don't need anything crazy. Just do a MJ and just tweet I'm back.
He's doing exactly what
he does. He's living his best Twitter life.
He's been tweeting about bring your grandma, I feel like he's like, look, I have state fans right where I want them. I'm gonna make them just watch me for a little bit.
The obvious.
I obviously he's probably not listening, but this is how I want your I'm coming back post to look like. DJ to DJ. That's all you say when you're coming back. Just DJ to DJ.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
and
it.
Then you'd be like, boom.
It's obvious. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, DJ Burns, we know you're coming back. You made that very clear even a day or two after the tournament ended. Like, so just go ahead and just do the obvious. You're coming back and you're going to kill it. Looking forward to it.
I forgot if it was DJ Horn or
it was Jaden
that mentioned it about Casey Marcel. Let that slip in the interview.
Yeah. Well, and also too, I mean, again, just I think Casey's game as of right now, you know, unless during the offseason he can develop it, it fits more with the college style, and so, you know, but again, like, you know, just come kill it, Casey. Hey, listen, man, I truly think that if we can get some of these guys that we're talking to right now with MJ, with you know, Mr. Long Name from Clemson, I can't never remember because it's not simple. Middlebrooks, yeah, Middlebrooks. You know, and I mean, and if we can get Mahorchik back, man, that's gonna be a heck of a roster right there.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You were just talking about KC's game. I think the one thing that he's maybe missing, and again, you're just kind of looking for something to say, and it's pretty minuscule. Just driving to the bucket a little bit more. He's a
little bit more aggressiveness.
Yeah, he's a great locked-on defender. He can shoot the ball pretty well. Like you've seen his percentage go up the last couple of years, and that's honestly, I'd like to see maybe this team, like you mentioned, running some offense. Like I would like to see some offense running for KC and get out and get his shot, because he's gotten really good from the 3-point line. You hit him in that corner. I mean, he's deadly from the corner.
It's basically money, honestly. Yeah. But my thing is I feel like there were a lot of plays like around him this past season until he got hurt. So I think that really, I think that messed him up a little bit. The consistency after he got hurt, I think, is what hurt him and his draft stock, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a bonus for us. And I mean, if he can come out and ball out again this year, I think he definitely has a chance of at least signing with the team.
And again, and I'll be the first one to admit I'm definitely no basketball expert, but just watching Casey's game. Dang, Greg. Anyway, but I mean, just from watching Casey's game, it just doesn't stand out saying like, okay, this guy can right now go kill it in the NBA. Yeah. I mean, do I think he has that potential? Absolutely, I do. 100% I believe in him. But it's just right now I'm like, I don't know. I just don't see it. But again, that's just from my viewpoint. It seems like from a lot of other people's viewpoints as well. But at the end of the day, the scouts will tell him. I mean, like if he comes back, that's because the scouts say, yeah, you might. You're probably not going to, get drafted, you probably go as a free agent. Then it's like, okay, well, let's go back to state then. So, but we'll find out. He might, hey, if he has his team that says, hey, we'll take you in the second round, then, hey, I wouldn't blame him one bit for going. But I'm also saying too, words are cheap. So just reminder out there for all college athletes out there, words are cheap. Just saying. So go ahead, Greg.
No, I just put this up there because we were talking about DJ, and I know you're a big Canes fan, so I'll throw you a bone.
Definitely broken.
I'll throw you a bone.
It's definitely broken.
I know. I I've more stayed off to Twitter because I was out with my family celebrating my mom's birthday tonight. But I mean, we're up 2-1 right now with a little bit over 6 minutes left in the third, so we got to close this thing out. But I mean, hey.
I was going to say for anyone listening post video, Michelle in the chat was like, wonder how the Siren at the Canes game is doing after DJ burns tonight. So that's where our conversation's going.
I'm waiting for that video to be posted. I'm so excited for it.
Well, and obviously I did hear now that Mike Elko, the head coach of Duke, who did it for the third period, I believe, he got some rains of booze coming in. So I mean, if he did, that means that DJ didn't break it. So thank goodness for that. So
so. All right. Well, let's switch over to some women's basketball. I think this is where the conversation might get a little dark. So let's
dark.
We've had some good fun conversation, but now we got to have the hard part. So, all right. So this first one for me was weird because it came out before the rest of the announcements. So I kind of put these in chronological order. So let me guys get your thoughts on this one. So this tweet is from Diamond's marketing folks. She signed a deal. Yeah, thank you, NIL. She signed a deal with McDonald's to promote some kind of frozen drink in the North Carolina and Virginia area. And this happened earlier this morning. I think it was around 9:30 that this tweet dropped. So I'm just leaving this one here because I think, and Michelle said it, here we go. Boom.
Yeah.
We really need to start getting sound effects for this.
What and I want to highlight this that there's 5 words that stand out to me in this whole thing. And I'm sure maybe most people know exactly where I'm going. Yeah. Due to some unfortunate situations. Like those 5 words I glued in on. I was like, okay, like what the heck does that mean? Like you like everything else is pretty prototypical for a normal, like, thank you fans, I'm moving on, whatever. Yeah. But those 5 words are very unique. And again, I'm sitting here saying to all fans that I was very careful, being as the main guy who usually tweets on Tuffy Talk Twitter account, and really seeming like I'm bashing during the season last season. But I'm telling you, and it is so clear now that I've played enough competitive sports to know when I don't see leadership. I see something is off. And it was clear to me last season that something was off. And now between Jakia transferring, between Diamond now transferring, between Camille transferring, and just everything in between, no, something was 1,000% off. There's no doubt about it. It was it was in the locker room. Period. I think 90% of our problems last year was in the locker room that traveled out onto the court. 100%. Because there's no way, if you look at that roster last season on paper, it was one of the easily one of the top 10 most talented groups of players in the country.
Well, they proved it by beating Iowa at Iowa, Notre Dame. Like you went out and got great wins. So and those weren't anomalies.
No. No, like we didn't fluke. Shoot, Iowa, freaking Caitlin Clark, like shot her lights out just to 45. Stay within shooting distance of us. So
I won't forget that. That was like a Steph Curry performance. I got to remember Steph Curry, how much he put up against us. Caitlin Clark put up 45 against us, and we still won by 14. Yeah. I think we won by 14.
At Iowa. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrates me is that, I mean, these past years, we've been like the top of the pyramid in the ACC and like even in the country, basically. And it's like, I feel like after one season of it going downhill, it's like all of these players are just like, you know what, like now we're on the downfall. Let's get out. And I'm like, that's not the case. Like you had one bad season that shouldn't defer you from state. That shouldn't make you not bring out that leadership on the team in the locker room. And that's what the frustrating part is. It's like we've literally won, I think, 3 straight, right? 3 straight ACC championships. And it's like, I just, it's weird to me. It's confusing how the whole timeline has gone about.
Yeah. So, you know, you had the keys to the kingdom turned over by the 4 that left the year before with Kai and Kunane and Reina and I'm forgetting the 4th one, and I'm sorry, Kayla Jones. Kayla Jones, yeah. And so you had the keys of the kingdom turned over to the ladies last year, who set them up for whatever they needed to do. And that next class, like you already mentioned, that's your team. That's your program now. And, you know, we talk about it with the men's football team, how you see that next generation of players turning it over to the next generation, and they maintain that standard. That standard didn't happen last year for whatever reason it was, whether it was chemistry, whether it was a couple of bad, you know, with a couple of losses and women checked out, whether it was Coach Moore. Look, Coach Moore coaches hard. He's going to coach you hard. He's going to put you in this position for success. He's got a proven track record. And maybe these players just didn't want to be coached hard. Who knows what the situation, the circumstances were, but you mentioned it, Leighton. I did not see any fire, any intensity, anything from those women.
The Carolina game is the only game that I saw
that was the only one.
With chemistry and like aggressiveness.
The one at home.
But most of that was because of Isaiah James, not even one of those 4.
Correct.
So, I mean, let's be real here. And again, just to prove it enough, the last 2 games we played against Notre Dame and against who do we play in Utah?
Princeton. We lost to Princeton.
Like both of those games, the Notre Dame game, I'm going to say once again, we were within firing distance to make a run, and literally like the commentators called it out, saying the players are just acting like that the game's over. But it's like, listen, you're within 2 possessions of this team, and you're acting like the game's over. And then Princeton blew a lead that there is no reason a senior-led team should have let that happen. We should not have blown that to Princeton. There is no chance that should have happened. Simple as that. So, and again, y'all, I want to make it perfectly clear too. So, I mean, my biggest thing right now with the transfer portal is, again, we're seeing good, of course. You know, we talked about with DJ and Jaden from the men's side, and then, you know, we've seen the bad, you know, with Jack Clark, with you know, now with Diamond, with Jakia, with Camille, with Jessica Timmons midseason, you know, Sophie Hart midseason. You know, my biggest thing is, I don't know about y'all, but it bugs me to go on Twitter right now, because all I'm seeing is just all these announcements from all these different players from all these different schools across the country saying, I'm transferring from this school to that school. I'm transferring from this school to that school. I'm going to the transfer portal. I'm taking my name out of the transfer portal. It's like college sports over the last 5 years has absolutely taken a complete 180. And, you know, has there been good things? Absolutely. But, you know, I'm one that, listen, like, you know, and because somebody was making a comment saying, well, listen, like if the transfer didn't happen, then State wouldn't have had as good of a season as we did last season. And sure, I mean, like, I think, but also, I also say hindsight's 2020, that, you know, what if, you know, we would have had some guys, you know, to try and develop and, you know, grow with, you know, to me, it's like, it just changes the game completely. Because now high school recruiting to me doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Like, it doesn't matter a flip. And you know why? Because literally, who was the guy, the 5-star recruit that committed to Texas?
Oh, that
committed to Texas, and then he all of a sudden decided that he was going to go play in some overseas league before he went to the draft.
Yeah, he ended up going to like Australia. Yeah,
Australia or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like, listen, if I'm a coach right now, I'm investing like 5 to 10% of my time and money into high school recruiting. Hey, listen, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, listen, like, because I don't know. Again, like, Texas just put all this time and money into getting this 5-star guy in, and he's not even going there now. It's bye-bye. See ya. Waste of time, waste of money later.
Yeah. And so, I think the frustrating part for it is that you're seeing, especially like on the football side, like you're only holding so many scholarships now for incoming freshmen because the portal is going to be such a fluent situation, and you want to make sure that you're postured. You're no longer planning for 3-4 years down the road. I think it really is going to be a year-to-year situation now because there's no guarantee that you're going to have a player in any sport for more than a year or two. Because again, we kept saying it last week, when you have folks that were starting in national championship games, Elite Eights, Final Fours, that are no longer on their team. They were key positions or key cogs on their teams, and they're walking away. And it is not even, people going to declare for the draft. Like I think we're used to that now, but it's been like that now for 10, 15 years where folks are leaving to go to the draft. That's one thing, but just all the transferring from school to school. I saw someone post on Twitter today, and I it's a friend of mine, and she quote tweeted Diamond's departure tweet. And she said, like, hey, I really loved you, Diamond. I just dropped $120 on your NIL jersey, and had I known that you were going to be bolting, I wouldn't have done that, And so, I think it's getting to the point, kind of what Rusty was saying here with his thing is women's basketball. What's going on? I'm so frustrated. Me, actually, angry old guy here who despises this new era, and I just don't think you're going to have any loyalty. I think fans will have brand loyalty to their school, but I think that the days of player loyalty are long gone.
Which is so sad. And honestly, this is kind of a joke, but not really a joke. But I think just like school affiliations and professional sports just needs to go away. Like in terms of like NFL, where they do the starting lineup, Joe Tooney, NC State, like, shoot, forget that now. Because like for these transfers, who are you gonna say? Like, it's like, listen, like, just forget about it. It's a waste of time now, because most guys, now most guys now will have played at multiple schools, which is it's sad, honestly. Because again, like we were considering adding this, and by the way, too, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Things that State Fans Never Say Part 4 comes out. Stay tuned for that. But we were considering making a joke, being like basically one of our things in State Fans Never Say would be, hey, the season just got done. You want to start previewing next year's team? And basically making the point, like, there's like, used to in the old days, you say, all right, these guys are going, but these guys coming in, like, this guy, he was a junior last year. He's going to be a senior this year. Like, he's going to be taking over, stepping up, getting some minutes. But now it's like, there's no reason. There is no such thing as previews until about a month before any season from here on out.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Not even a month, like the day before, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yep. I know we need to jump forward, Greg.
We have a lot more to cover here, and we're already into this. So just real quick, the next level, right? The heir apparent to DJ is now Zoe Brooks. So just got recognized as National Player of the Year by a publication. So we were talking about the women's basketball. I think Rusty mentioned in the chat, we have a top five recruiting class coming in. So I did some quick math. We were chatting with some folks on Twitter today. Right now, if all my numbers are correct, we have 5 current players on the roster. And that's as of 9:47 p.m. because I haven't seen if anyone else has dropped to the portal. We have 4 coming in, so that's 9 players, and I think you can have 12 or 13 scholarships.
13, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's 13. So again, public school math tells me we have 4 left.
Yep.
So anyway, all right. So moving on, and we already kind of mentioned Camille. Again, we're just putting a bow on that if anyone cares. Illinois, moving on. All right.
Who cares?
Let's talk swimming and diving, because I think that's a program that we like. Again, we love talking about all programs, but let's give some swimming and diving some love. So go for it there, Leighton.
Well, and one of the biggest things, and I don't have the name here in front of me, but one other thing which I got to give a shout out to, where I'm going.
Is it the recruit?
Yep, the recruit.
Yeah, I got that one next. Yep.
Okay.
I got the next.
But again, y'all, I just want to just remind everybody here that Braden Holloway, who is named AC Men's Coach of the Year, which is not his first, not even his second. He's had multiple of these.
Yeah,
he's still well within his 40s. He's a young coach that's going to be in NC State for a long time. And I have to remind you once again that most of the time last season, or this season, whatever you want to call it, the season that just got completed, both the men's and the women's teams were both ranked all the time within the top 10, but most of the time within top 5, both teams.
Mm-hmm.
And literally to go see them compete at the swim center right beside Carmichael, it was free to go watch them. Free, absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a cent to park there's no tickets. You walk in and you can go watch 2 top 5 teams, men's and women's, compete. And it's the uniform at the top of their class. I mean, it's to me, I just cannot say enough. Go support these teams: men's swimming and diving, softball. Again, I'm sure we'll probably talk softball here, but I'm getting a huge win over Clemson.
Slowly roll.
I'm sorry, man, but again, more making the point here, y'all. It's just like, listen, go support these teams. Huge shout to men's and swimming and diving, though.
I mean, everybody talks about wanting to see a national championship. These teams bring them in.
Yep.
So,
Plenty of individual championships. We're just missing the team hardware, but your
it's going to happen.
Especially with this one. You ready?
Yep, go for it.
There's your number 1 recruit right there, Daniel Deal.
Oh, that's
Daniel
crazy.
Deal. Yep. So the number 1 overall men's swimming and diving recruit is heading to NC State, and I'm going to say all this too, all that with, I would say, mid-tier facilities. I mean, the swimming facilities definitely due for an upgrade for sure. And I know it's in the cards. I know Debbie Yao, even while she was at State, mentioned that it was a goal in order to get some upgrades there. But I think that once that happens, then sky's the limit, really. I cannot be more ecstatic and more Bye. I'm in swimming and diving.
Zoe Brooks just retweeted Tuffy Talk's tweet.
Hey,
her time to shine.
That's Zoe Brooks' time to shine, baby. But yeah,
that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Yeah,
it's got that notification.
All right.
Yes.
Tennis time.
Women's tennis. Yeah, y'all.
Go watch them.
Yeah. I think, Leighton, you were over there Friday. You were there Friday, weren't you, Leighton?
Friday for the top 10 match, number 8 NC State versus number 9 Virginia. Which I got to remind everybody once again, Virginia has beaten State in women's tennis the last 3 meetings, but for the first time in the last 4 meetings, State pulled out the win 5-2 in a top 10 matchup. And I'm telling you, women's tennis is primed to make at least another Final Four run. I fully see that within the realm of possibilities for this team. Yep. And I think now with Diana Schneider, the top overall college recruit that now is on campus, the number 88 women's tennis player in the world right now.
Yeah. That's not college.
Not college. In professional college, youth, everything. Elementary school, you name it. Everybody.
Love it.
Number 88 best women's tennis player right now. And she's a freshman.
Yep.
So goes crazy.
No, I was going to say, so the women just kind of, I'm just trying to keep us on time. We got a couple more going through. But the women closed out their regular season yesterday with a 7-0 win over Virginia Tech on senior day. So it was nice for the senior ladies to go out on top.
Yep.
And look, I love Tuffy Talk. I think you guys love Tuffy Talk, and we love self-promotion. So let's talk a little bit from the assistant coach there that asked us to give some love to the ACC tournament coming up this week. So Leighton, go for it.
Yeah. So this weekend, I think it's the 19th through the 23rd.
Yep.
The men's and women's tennis teams are both competing in the ACC tournament championships this weekend here in Cary, North Carolina, actually. And I'm trying to find the name. Yeah. What's the name of is there a facility name?
No, you keep talking and I'll look.
Yeah, we'll keep talking. But again, y'all, it should be a beautiful weekend this weekend. I mean, if it stays like the weather has been over the last couple of days or a week or two, I mean, then you're in for quite a treat here. But ACC men's and women's tennis is about as good as you get in the entire country. It is deep from top to bottom. I mean, even NC State women's tennis, who right now is ranked number 8 in the country, they're still the 3 seed for ACC. So, I mean, if that doesn't say enough, I'd say that, man, like that, it's going to be a doozy to watch for sure. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, so that is going to be held at the Cary Tennis Park in Cary, North Carolina. So that's the official name of it.
So April 19th through the 23rd. So go support our men's and women's tennis programs, and hopefully we can come out there with a duo AC championship. And that was the exact tweet I was going to find next. Got to give a shout out to men's tennis as well, that even though women's tennis has been skyrocketing over the last few years, now on top of it, men's tennis has now the most ACC wins in school history. That's crazy.
Yep.
I'm telling you, like Leighton says all the time, state sports are on the rise, like easily. And it's exciting.
On the rise.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm reading and scrolling and trying to multitask here, but both of our teams are going to be seeded third at the tournament. So this is the men's bracket as well. I think everything kind of goes, I think it's the same time frame. I think everything kind of goes concurrently, like, and so, I talked to our resident expert tennis person, Brian, was it Rosenthal, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And so I had look, I know some of you guys put like, this is a dumb question. Well, guess what? I had a dumb question last night to Brian because I'm actually going to be in town on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're going to be in town for baseball. I got a procedure at Raleigh Orthopedic, home of the Wolfpack Sports. So go check them out. Shameless plug. But I'm going to be out for a couple of days. So I wanted to go watch tennis. And so I'll be out there. I don't really know a lot about tennis, but the one question I did have, so speaking of dumb questions, I had asked Brian, the ACC, I know they have individual titles, but that's only for the NCAA portion. ACC competition is just strictly team. So if anyone was curious about that, I didn't know. Thought I would pass that along to you guys as well. Sharing is caring.
Good to know. Everybody knew that, Greg. Come on, man.
Of course. I'm the dumb guy. So
no. So again, y'all, April 19th through 23rd. I think NC State's first matches for both of them will both be on the 21st, which is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So again, make sure to go support them at the Cary Tennis Center in Cary, North Carolina. And again, let's go support both these teams and get an ACC championship for both of them. What do you say?
Yeah, and I think it's minimal cost, if anything.
Very minimal. Maybe $5 if anything.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be much. So
no.
All right. Trying to blow through these. We got a few more.
Let's do it. Ben Finley, the GOAT. Oh man.
This one, I'm not gonna lie, this one hurt me. Just a little bit. This one hurt me.
But I'm okay with it. Like,
I'm okay with it, but it hurt.
Hey, I love it. No, again, because everybody's saying, everybody giving Dave Doran a hard time saying, man, they did Ben Finley wrong, man. It's like, come on, man. Like, again, Ben Finley is a great quarterback for sure. I think that, he can easily go and I see him as kind of an easy group of 5 starter, borderline power 5 starter for sure, but just, hey, at the end of the day, all I'm going to do is sit here and say, listen, Ben, you stepped up when State fans need you the most, man. And you got us easily one of the biggest wins in rivalry history between NC State and UNC. And I know UNC fans be like, that was one of NC State's biggest wins in rivalry history. It's like, well, yeah.
If context.
Exactly. If you look at the context of that game going, dude, even me, myself, I had already been like, hey, listen, like, you're playing at UNC. UNC is coming off of a loss to Georgia Tech. Drake May is Drake May. We're playing with our 3rd or 4th string quarterback, however you want to look at him. Like, sure. And then especially, too, once you look at how much injuries that we got throughout the game, the fact that we were playing with our 4th string nickelback. We literally took a cornerback who went in on the quarterback jet try and put him in nickelback. Say again?
Nobody likes nickelback.
Yeah, nobody likes nickelback. Exactly. So again, like, dude, no, like that easily was one of the biggest games, and Ben Finley delivered when we needed him. And so for him and what Ryan did for us, could not wish absolute best for him. Hope all everything in the world, and definitely NC fans will always love him, and he'll never have to buy a drink again in Raleigh, North Carolina, guaranteed.
Never. No. So this next tweet was I I thought it was kind of fun talking about the Finley brothers from our friend Corey Smith at Pack Pride. This is one of those strange ones. I thought that when you looked at it, you're like, how is that even possible? Where Ryan Finley never threw a touchdown pass in his games against North Carolina.
Just Reggie Gillespie that one game.
That's right. So I actually broke this down in our Discord. So in 2016, we win 28-21. Matt Days has 2 rushing touchdowns. Lewis gets 1. We did have 1 receiving touchdown that day, but that was thrown by Jalen Samuels on that. Remember that flea flicker halfback pass, and then Samuels had a rushing touchdown. So that was in 2016, and then that was 2017. We win 33-21. And that was when Naeem had 2 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Samuels had 1 rushing touchdown. And Finley did have 2 touchdowns that day. Yep. They were just rushing. So, and then Ken's just mentioned the overtime win in 2018 against Carolina that led to a little fight at the end. And that was my favorite one. That game will always be remembered as the Reggie Gillespie game where he tied a school record of 5 rushing touchdowns. So
that's insane. Everybody's jersey was clean except his. Yeah, and that's what I loved about that game.
True.
Yeah. So, all right. So those are our quick football tweets. We did have one more person, a defensive end, entered the transfer portal today. He's a role player. I don't remember his name. I know there you go. So, all right. And we got a couple more here. Leighton, you did mention softball earlier, so I'll go ahead and let you take that thunder.
Again, to me, this just screams, and again, I guess I could take a step back and just remind. So basically, State played or had a 3-game series this weekend against number 8 Clemson, and on the 3rd game, we won 7-5, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday. Yep. And also too, Saturday, it was Friday or Saturday, the first game or the second game, we actually took them to extra innings too. Yep. And this is a team that I got to remind you that basically 2 weeks into the season lost their head coach and their associate head coach in one fell swoop, just bam, gone. And so I have to give it up to these players, to the coaching staff that stepped up. And to me, this just screams opportunity is there. If you give me a coach to the level of Braden Holloway for swimming and diving, of the Papalizia for wrestling, of pretty much any coach at NC State that is as good as he or she is at NC State, if you give me that coach for softball, man, I think we have the talent. I think we have the juice, the energy to easily take this program into the top 25, in my opinion. Just my 2 cents.
Definitely.
Yeah. So quick things you did mention here. Friday we lost 4-1 and 8. And Saturday we lost 6-3, and then yesterday we won 7-5. So very competitive, like you're saying, against a top 10 program through all the adversity that these women have been going through. And then
absolutely.
Then you have Michelle here, the softball player who made the play to win the game, was a former Clemson player. So I know that was great for her. And the Infinite Hate is always there with the info. That player was Lori Haynes. I'm very bad at names. So.
Sounds good.
But
sorry, Lori.
Yeah, sorry. We appreciate you. I'm very bad at names.
We appreciate you.
You're awesome.
Big series this weekend, rivalry weekend. They're at Dale Softball Stadium against Carolina. So obviously bring your Infinite Hate. So for the Heels, how about that time?
Yeah,
both in.
I love it.
Good.
Yeah. Good little tag there, Greg. Yeah. So and again, just want to give an extra shout again to these girls who have really stepped up. I mean, could not be more proud of them. Oh. And so
made a mistake. Nope, Infinite Hate. I'm sorry. I was reading names, and I apologize. I named the women's cross country coach. So
Lori Haynes. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like Ron Burgundy reading the teleprompter, and if you put it up there, I'm gonna tell you what's on the words.
Ron Burgundy.
Someone just changed it on me.
Yeah, Lori Haynes. Yeah.
Sorry,
and that's what it is.
Yeah. Somebody changed the words on Ron again.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I think we pretty much nailed the coffin on softball, but again, just could not be more proud and so excited to see what they could do the rest of the season, and then excited to see who the man or woman will be that will be taking over the helm for this very talented NC State staff in this program that's ready to take the next step.
Yeah, and I made a lot of changes to our tweet deck today. The one thing that I had, but I guess it didn't make it into the final copy, is we have 4 NC State cheerleaders going to World Cheering. That's Cora, Angelina, Malaya, I guess, and Alex, and then 1 alum in Brandon Parker. So we have 5 individuals, 4 ladies, and 1 man that will go represent NC State in the World
That's awesome.
Championships. And I have made it through all my decks. So if you guys got anything, last closing remarks?
Yeah, I mean, for me, so first of all, just a reminder. So again, Things NC State Fans Never Say Part 4 will be coming out Wednesday, 6 p.m. So to make sure you do not miss out, whenever we release that episode or that, I wouldn't even say it's episode, that skit, that video, whatever you want to call it. Make sure, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, which is free to do. So you're notified whenever it and any of our content goes live. And then also also do want to give an FYI that since we're talking about cheerleading, is that we also did record an interview with our head coach Harold Trammell, and then also 2 of our cheer captains as well. So stay tuned for that, as well as that those episodes will be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, or I would say even within the next week or 2 even. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But the biggest thing which I want to talk about here a little bit too is that, we talked a lot about today about the transfer portal and how the idea of player loyalty is, quickly subsiding. But the biggest thing which I want to emphasize again, and I'm honestly going to bring this up until the day that I do not hear another State fan doubt this man, is that Dave Doran, in my opinion, does not get even enough credit, even close to enough credit as he should, for the fact that literally with our football program over the last couple of years, where you've seen players jumping off of rosters left and right, State has been one of, easily, I would say, if you gave me a list of the teams who have been in the top 25 consistently over the last 3 seasons, I would bet money that there probably maybe has been 1 or 2 programs, State being one of those, that has lost probably less than 5% of their roster easily. Yep. I mean, like State has done an amazing job of getting the players to buy in. Coaching staff as well has bought in even too. I mean, again, for Tony Gibson, who, I mean, we were scared to death that, this guy's got to be up for some head coaching positions, but he made it very clear saying it will take a lot for me to leave NC State, to leave Raleigh. Again, I'm me being a former football equipment manager. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I don't take this, to another level, because of the fact that I've worked with this guy. I've seen, what this guy does, and I've seen how much this guy has grown. And I'm telling you right now that for anybody who brings up the only thing that you can ever bring up about Dave Doran, which is the fact that he has not won a conference championship, I immediately go back to you saying, literally, the moment that he wins a championship, he is unquestionably the greatest NC State football coach of all time. Mm-hmm. No arguments asked. Just put it to bed. It's done, over with. Right now, I'm saying I can make an argument. I'm not saying it's a great argument. I'm saying it's a heck of an argument. Let's put it that way. With how much this guy has developed, how he has gone with the times as college sports has changed over the last 10 years. He has moved with it. He has also brought in great assistant coaches. He has brought in guys, that he knows can develop players. He has developed talent. Again, he has dominated recruiting here in State from the moment he arrived on campus. I'm literally saying he has won at home. He's only lost 1 game at home over the last 2 seasons, y'all. And he's also now he has winning records against ECU. He has winning record against UNC. Like, listen, he also now finally has, a win over Clemson. He's been in the top 10. Like, there is nothing. I'm saying, all right, for those people who say that I'm not bought on him because he hasn't won a conference championship, please tell me realistically who you want to replace. Please tell me realistically. Exactly. And no, we're not getting Nick Saban. We're not going after like any of these big guys. We're not. Again, we are getting our money's worth with what we're paying him. 100%. Our money's worth.
And it's not even the talent that he produces, like the guys, like the men outside of football.
Great young men.
Top tier guys. Like,
absolutely.
I've known them before Dave, and now after it's like they give that level of like, I'm proud to be their fan. Basically,
Absolutely.
it's like you see them
100%.
out in public. They love the fans. The
Yes,
fans
sir.
love
No,
them.
sir. Yes, ma'am.
They'll go up to
Mhm.
people. Like they don't just like hide themselves because they know that they're celebrities to state fans.
Yep.
Like they give into that and like love every minute of it. And I mean, I respect the heck out of it. The coach, like Michelle said, the football culture is definitely top tier.
Easily. Go ahead, Greg.
So yeah, the only comment I want to kind of put a bow on that is you were talking about he hasn't won a championship. Guess what? There's only 2 current ACC football teams coaches that can claim an ACC championship. That's Dabo and Narduzzi at Pitt. That's it. So it's been a conference that we all know has been dominated by Clemson, and unfortunately, they've been on our side of the division up until this year. I think this is where we're gonna hopefully take that next step.
And the one last thing, which I'll say too, is that I know that, for anybody who's, been hearing insiders, things like that, which we won't share much about, is that we've been hearing some good things about MJ, which has been great. And to me, if MJ does come out as being locked in by more, meaning that he signs up with one of our collectives, whether it's Savage Wolves or Pack Wolves, whatever it may be, that to me is another feather in the cap of Dave Doran. That in the fact that
together.
Yeah. Well, again, just getting MJ to buy in, like, because if that happens, I'm sitting here as a State fan going, dude, I am feeling amazing about the next 3 years.
Definitely.
I'm feeling great about the next 3 years because I know I have Brandon Armstrong, guy who within practice,
your bridge.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hearing rants and raves about. Also, too, that the fact that you got MJ to buy in to the long-term vision that he can have here at NC State instead of going to an SEC school like Auburn, which I know that it's not a hidden thing that Auburn was recruiting him heavily.
Speaking of that, y'all go attack these, not attack, but give back these Auburn fans and his mentions. I don't want to see more Auburn fans than State fans because I feel like I'm the only one fighting that battle. I need y'all to come help me.
No.
Give it to them.
So again, y'all, I'm just sitting here, and also too, another feather in the cap. I mean, who would have thunk that, if you told me 2 years ago that Peyton Wilson would still be playing on our football roster, I'd say you're crazy, man.
Exactly.
You're crazy.
Even with
No
injuries,
way.
I never thought he would.
No way.
He would have been here.
But again, it's obvious he loves NC State. It's obvious he loves NC State. Go ahead, Greg.
So my closing thoughts, I got 2.
Go for it, brother.
They tie to this comment right here. So Kathy Smith, by the way, happy birthday. That's number 1. So, yep. And then the other one, I just kind of want to give a shout out to, we did talk baseball earlier, and then Kathy just mentioned this earlier in our chat and I missed it, but just want to send a huge shout out to the baseball moms and dads. It was a big parents weekend, and they invited me to the tailgate, and I kind of crashed it with some extra folks with Leighton and his family, but they were so gracious to have us, and we love talking baseball with them. And I'm really glad that the boys could give all the parents. I mean, we had parents coming in from California, Colorado, Florida. They were all over the place this weekend. So those boys gave their parents a show, and I'm happy for everyone that was involved in that program.
100%. Do you have, is that, were those your 2 in one?
That was it. Yeah. I just want to, again, just give them a shout out. And we just really appreciate, we love, we talk about this all the time, and I feel like we beat this horse, but we really love talking sports, and baseball is really one of my sports. And I've been gracious enough to meet a lot of the parents, and Ken's is connected with a lot of the players. Macon loves his basketball. Michael's a jack of all trades. Leighton, well, he's just Leighton. So I just think we got it. I just think we got it all great. We got a great.
Leighton's that golden retriever of the group.
Yeah.
Everybody
he's loyal. Is that what you're saying? He's loyal.
Yeah, and he just that friendly face. Everybody's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Leighton. He looks like the nicest one.
Well, and you know what I mean, but I mean, I do got to round this off too with saying, again, we say this most live streams, so we'll say it again that that all of you tuning in with us right now, all of the support that we have gotten has been amazing. Again, at the end of the day, we don't promise more than saying we're 5 NC State fans that love all things NC State, and we're going to use a little bit of insider info that we have to make it as interesting of conversations as we have, or as we can. Sorry. And again, just loved all the support that we've gotten. And again, the biggest thing which I'll say as well is that if you have any feedback, thoughts, whatever it may be, let us know. again, always looking to grow
accessible.
And again, 100% accessible to say the least, for sure. But really do appreciate all y'all tuning in again. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. Again, if you did, please do us a big favor and hit that like button, and that would mean a lot. And also too, or just a reminder as well, is that if you want to join our private Discord channel for absolutely free, if you go to our Twitter page, the pinned tweet up top, click that link and you'll join right in with us and a great group of NC State fans that talk all things NC State every day, 24/7. So it's great stuff.
I'll get messages at 2 a.m.
But again, and just remind one more time, thanks NC State fans, part 4, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be hilarious. It's a fun one. I can guarantee you that right now. So Greg, Kens, again, enjoyed it, y'all. Thank you so much again for being patient with us. We will be back 8 p.m. next week. We'll see y'all then. As always, go Pack, baby.